音乐让时间变得很短暂，我们从音乐的梦中醒了过来。我们请一个指挥为我们说几句。
Thank you. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, ambassadors. Thank you, distinguished guests. It is such an honor to be here tonight. Thank you for inviting us, inviting me to share music from my country that I love so passionately. Thank you for coming out and celebrating with us tonight. I've spent this week thinking a lot about West Side Story and about why America loves this musical so much. And at the end, I think it's because the story of America and the story of West Side Story are the same story. It's a story, as has been said tonight before, of immigrants clinging to their own identity, to their own cultural dignity, and at the same time recognizing, coming to understand that cooperation is a necessity, that they must change their fundamental definitions of love, of family, in order to tell a new story together. One of my favorite things about the music you just heard, all three pieces, is that none of them were works of one solitary genius. They were all works of collaboration. Appalachian Spring would not have been written if someone had not introduced Aaron Copland to Martha Graham, the greatest dancer and choreographer that America ever produced. All of these pieces came about because someone took great, talented geniuses and stuck them together in a room and closed the door and said, "Don't come out until you give us something new." And we cannot overestimate the importance of these people, the people who allow artists of different cultures and genres and talents to come together and lock us in a room and say, make us something new, give us something new to experience and to discover together. I'm going to say something rather scandalous right now, given that I'm a musician, but I do not believe that music is a universal language. Politics is not a universal language. Mandarin Chinese is not a universal language. English is not a universal language. The only universal language that I know is the communication that gets created between people when they come together to tell the same story. When two singers breathe and sing the same phrase, or when two violinists raise their bow, they are not just trying to match the same pitch or to match the same color or the same rhythm. They are taking a deep breath and meaning the same thing at the same time. And when that happens, all barriers between people evaporate, because what they are experiencing is the very depth of their own souls resonating in the depth of another person. The last thing I'll say, because I think these flowers are pretty heavy, is that one of the great joys of being in my job is studying the history of all of the instruments that you see on stage. And I cannot recommend enough learning about where they all come from. They come from every part of the world. They've come an extraordinary distance through centuries of evolution and war and cultural change to be on a stage in this exact setup tonight. And what it reminds me of, and what it has taught me, is that this orchestra, that the orchestra is the greatest symbol that I know of what can be created when people come together to make something. It teaches us that the things that we create to divide us or make us afraid are not nearly as powerful as the forces that bring us together to create. And I want to thank Adam, I want to thank Winland, I want to thank the exceptional Chinese National Opera Orchestra and Chorus, these fabulous soloists, for heeding the gravitational pull to come here tonight to create something and share all of this with you. Thank you all so very much. You may put your flowers down now, I think.
谢谢大家。
Or hand them off to whoever they're going.